This is video 74 of 101. This video is about growing. In the hardest times, we grow the most. It's actually really coincidental. This was just on my quote of the day calendar yesterday. But I think that quote really sums up what this video is about. I think growth, human growth, is so fascinating. Beyond when we were just like this big microscopic cell into, a full-formed human who can think and grow and create a human myself. Beyond that, I think that the human growth in our brains and our mental growth is so fascinating. The fact that when we are put under pressure, when we're put into hard times, we can choose to grow from that and get better. And personally, I don't know why anybody would choose not to grow from something. Essentially, when a really shitty thing happens to you, you can say, alright, that shitty thing happened, but instead of just getting bogged down and becoming bitter from it, I can actually take things from that, learn from it, and become a better person in the end. I can make this really shitty thing make me a better person. I don't know why anyone would not choose that. Every time we grow, we become closer to the person that we are meant to be, to our future selves, to our future goals. But growth in itself, while we are experiencing it, it may not be the most fun thing. We grow during the worst times in our life. We grow when we are struggling to study for that test, and we grow when we fail that test. We grow when someone close to us dies. We grow when the really shitty things in your life happen that are totally out of your control, that are just making you insane. That is when we grow. But growth is a choice. Growth is the choice when you look at this situation and you say, you know what, that sucks, but I'm gonna learn something from this and I'm gonna become better from that, rather than just saying, oh man, this sucks, like, God, I give up, and you just become bitter and you think that the whole world owes you something because this really shitty thing happened to you. Let me tell you, shitty things happen to people every single day. It doesn't matter if you are a shitty person. I mean, likely more shitty things are going to happen to you if you're a shittier person, but even good people, shitty things happen to them. But the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the successful people take these moments of weakness, of failure, of terrible, shitty things that happen, and they spin them around and they say, okay, how can I learn from this? How can I take a lesson out of this and become better? What can I learn from the situation? What can I take away that's going to grow me as an individual, to make me a better individual, to better handle these things in the future, and then just keep going on? What is it? And that is what really separates people. It's really the decision whether you want to grow from something or let it get you down. If we struggle to study for a test and then fail, maybe we need to learn a different method. Maybe we need to be paying attention more in class so we don't have to do it all at the end. If someone dies, yeah, that sucks, but it helps us learn how to deal with grieving, how to deal with shitty situations that are out of our control, so that when these shitty situations happen again in the future, we're more prepared for them. But this choice, whether to grow from it or let it get you down, is totally up to you. And the only person who's going to benefit from this or not benefit from this choice is you. If you decide to be bitter, you are going to experience a lot more unhappiness. You are going to experience this bitterness that you have chosen. But that's your choice. You are choosing to see the situation as terrible. Maybe it is a terrible situation, but that doesn't mean that's how you have to think about it. Let's say your parents get divorced and you have to move. Yeah, that really sucks. Maybe you have to leave your friends behind and maybe there's a lot of going on in your family, but maybe this is a time for a new opportunity. Maybe you're going to meet some new interesting people. Maybe you're going to experience some new things. You're going to be in a new place. Yeah, there's a lot of shitty things that go on in those kind of situations. But looking at it and saying, maybe I can get something out of this. Maybe there's an opportunity here. Maybe there is an experience in this situation that I wouldn't have experienced otherwise. And maybe that experience is going to be very impactful for me and help me on my journey in life. Seeing things that way is just going to help us attract these great things into our life as well. If you choose to be bitter, if you choose to stay stuck in your misery, you are choosing to stay there and you are the only one who's going to be miserable and unhappy. So why would you choose that when you literally could just choose to be happy? You could choose to see things in a better light, and then they pretty much just become a lot better. That doesn't apply to everything. If someone dies, that's really shitty overall, and we just learn to deal with it. But it just really helps us learn how to deal with shitty situations, so then when more things happen, we're more prepared for them. I like to think of things in a big picture, like if your crush rejects you, yeah, that sucks, but maybe if you guys had gotten together, you would have had your heart broken even more. I always think that when something shitty happens, sometimes it's also just preventing us from even something shittier happening down the line. Like if we keep getting red lights, maybe if we had all green lights, we would have sped and gotten to an accident. Like, maybe these things aren't even true. But just telling ourselves these things can definitely help spin a situation around. Not everything has a reason. You can definitely just make something up just to make yourself feel better, and then just accept that and keep going and keep growing. Shitty things happen to literally everybody. Don't think you're unique because something shitty happened to you. Literally, it happens to everybody. But every time something happens terrible to a good person, they decide to grow from it. And they say, how can I make myself better? How can I learn from this and come out of this on top? This is how you can look back on one of the worst years of your life and say, wow, I'm glad that's over, but look at where I am now. So much of who I am is because of really terrible things that have happened to me in my life. These really terrible things, I looked at them and I said, wow, this sucks. I hate this. I don't know what the hell to do. But then I just kept going and I said, you know what? There's got to be a silver lining here. There's got to be something here that I can learn that's going to make me get better. Shitty situations help you deal with more shitty situations. They help you be better equipped to deal with just situations in general. So much of who I am started from a really awful place, but I chose to grow from it, and look at where I am now. I mean, maybe you guys can't tell, but I'm so happy right now, and I would not be here if I hadn't had all these terrible things happen to me in my past. And then one final thing is that sometimes you may be the person who is doing the shitty thing. Maybe you have to break up with a partner or a friend because they're just no longer benefiting your life and they're actually starting to take away from your life. And sometimes it hurts, and I mean, all the time, it hurts so much to have to hurt the people that you love, that you care for. But the thing is that that event happening to this person is going to help them grow and become a better person. Maybe it'll help them reflect on their life and decide, where are they really going? And if they're someone who's actually going to just say, you know what, no, I'm going to be bitter about this, well, maybe you're making the right decision and distancing yourself anyways. So whenever something terrible happens to you, choose to grow from it. I mean, maybe there won't be like the most apparent lesson in it at all, but every time you choose to grow from a situation, it just is an indicator that you are a strong person and you can take on the world. And when we are able to become stronger in these terrible situations, then when there are good situations, we perform even better and we can get even more out of them. So just keep going and keep growing.